Hey Giants fans, Ryan Dunleavy from NJ Advanced Media here to give you the second installment of the Odell Beckham Jr. Holdout Panic Meter, or the OBJ HPM. We started this a couple weeks ago to give Giants fans an idea how concerned they should be that Beckham isn't going to be on the field when training camp starts on July 25th. We started it as a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no concern at all and 10 being sound the alarms. Well, a lot has happened since then, and let's review it real quickly. Beckham showed up for Giants' mandatory minicamp. 3 practices, all of which he was on the field for. Good sign. He didn't participate in those practices. Bad sign. He stayed after those practices to work with Eli Manning and get extra routes. Good sign. He was medically cleared by the Giants to participate in practice. Both a good and a bad sign. He's obviously making progress from his rehabbed ankle, but he didn't do the team drills, which is a sign that maybe he isn't looking to push himself without that new contract. Zach Martin, the Cowboy star, what does that have to do with this? Well, he was a holdout threat. The Cowboys just made him the highest paid offensive guard in football, replacing Andrew Norwell, who was the highest paid offensive guard in football for about, I don't know, like 2 months since he signed a free agent deal in mid-March. That's the way NFL contracts work. You're always setting a new bar, and Odell Beckham wants to set a new bar with the Giants as the highest paid wide receiver in football. And then most interestingly, Beckham had a camp for kids in Metuchen, and he said as he hopped on a golf cart, he turned his head to reporters and said he'd be at camp, no holdout. I later clarified with the source that that is what he meant. He does not plan to hold out as of right now, though it is always a possibility that is subject to change given that the progress of the negotiations, or really the lack of progress of negotiations, would be the more newsworthy story. This is not about skipping practices for Beckham. This is not a veteran who doesn't want to take hits in the preseason, although he did get injured in the preseason last year. Beckham wants to be on the practice field. If you spend 10 minutes around him, you can tell that he's still at that age, 25, where he loves football. He wants to be on the practice field. He wants to be making plays. Eli Manning said as much. Landon Collins has said as much. Sterling Shepard has said as much. So he wants to be on the field. This is really just about protecting himself as an asset, making sure he gets paid. So the Giants do have a history of doing contract extensions in training camp in early September, right before the regular season starts. That's a good sign. And yet I'm still going to say that the holdout panic meter is a 6 now. Why, when I've given you all those good signs? Because time's a ticking, basically. And the closer we get to July 25th without any real sign of progress, the more concerned Giants fans should be. It's a 6 now. The one thing I would say is another thing is not a concern is Dave Gettleman. Since we last did one of these OBJ HPMs, it came out that he has a lymphoma diagnosis, but everyone I checked with said he'll still be calling the shots, he'll still be negotiating, that Gettleman's health, his prognosis is good, and it won't affect his daily job, such as contract negotiations. And really, Assistant General Manager Kevin Abrams, who's kind of the Giants' cap guy, just got a promotion anyway. The Giants have all things lined up in the front office to handle a negotiation. It's just about getting it done right now, and it's a 6 on the panic meter for now. Stay tuned later in the summer for more developments and more panic meter updates.